Okay, marhaba. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Mimi Kirk. I help out with these Arabic Teacher Council workshops in Washington, D.C. And welcome to this workshop in which our speaker, Layali Ashkaidaf, has curated a list of resources for Arabic teachers of primary school students. And these workshops are hosted by the Institute for Middle East Studies at George Washington University and are generously funded by Qatar Foundation International. Admit some folks, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick introduction of our main speaker, Layali, and she's also joined by Raida Al-Nabulsi and Kenza Rafai. So I'll give a brief introduction of them as well, and then give them all the floor. So first we have Layali Ashkaidaf. She is the president and founder of Kalima Programs for Arabic Culture and Arts. She's passionate about Arabic language and has been teaching it for many years. She's also worked in communications, program and publication management, and education administration. She's initiated, designed, developed, and directed various play-based, STEAM-focused language immersion programs, and she believes in empowering learners to find their voice and exercise their agency as they develop the school skills to become lifelong learners and global citizens of an interdependent, interconnected world. And I really enjoy working with Layali on the Arabic Teachers Council and thank her for all her work. And we're very lucky also to have Raida El-Nabulsi. She teaches Arabic at an Arabic immersion magnet school. She teaches pre-K to 8th grade in Texas. And this is the first public school, I think you said, in the country to teach Arabic to kindergarten through 8th grade. So welcome, Raida.
Thank you.
Finally, we have Kenza Rafai, who will also be presenting a bit, and she teaches Quranic Arabic at a Sunday school to first graders. And welcome, Kenza. It's great to have you as well.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Layali, and we'll be here if you need me. Thanks so much.
شكرا أهلا وسهلا فيكم جميعا. Let me share my screen. Get ready to participate a little bit through Mentimeter survey. Started here. أهلا وسهلا. This workshop is to share some really cool resources for primary educators. There's a lot that we're already all using on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, however frequently you teach. You know, I consulted with a lot of teachers in different settings, asking them what's, you know, their favorites, what are their favorite resources, what are their go-to places, for when, you know, they are planning lessons or units and, you know, planning for the whole year, basically. And there were some resources that, you know, came through several of the leads, like some of them are like staples that will be presented here. And some were recommended, but not necessarily used by everyone equally. So there might be mentions of some that may not be familiar to you and some that you may have used or heard, but we're gonna, Raida and Kenza are gonna show us some of the stuff that they used successfully with high recommendations that had an impact also on the student learning. And we will see from like the back end or the teacher dashboard, basically how it looks like. And, you know, that will help if you haven't used those resources to see how they're set up and you know, maybe entice you to try. So as Mimi mentioned, this is part of a series of workshops organized by the DC Arabic Teachers Council, and there was a workshop end of April for teachers of middle and high school. So I've tried not to repeat a lot of the stuff that came up in that workshop. But you know, like some of the resources may be similar. I wanted to say that this has been something that I've been working on for many, many years. And I've been collecting resources and, testing and, consulting with people about resources for a long time now. And what I want to say is that um, like contrary to popular belief by a lot of people, probably not the educators themselves, probably parents and non-educators for the most part think that there aren't enough resources for Arabic learning. And my experience, and I don't know if you all agree with me or not, is that there are tons of resources. It's just that they're not organized in a way that's easy to find and decide on and use properly. So what I've been trying to do over a long time, as I said, is to organize and archive the resources in a way that makes them easily accessible and a bit like ready, like to search and sift through for the right purposes at the right time. So so what I've tried to do for this workshop is to organize the resources in different ways because there was just not one way that would work for everything. So based on skills or, like language skills that you're teaching, based on tools, like, I'm really in the mood for using this particular tool, or the kids have been asking for a game, for example, a really engaging game. And, so I could, look for the tool and then, what's the skill that we've been learning, kind of line up, skills or themes with tools and, make it all like seamless in a way. It's not easy, but also there's, I'm gonna offer you resources by service providers or people to consult with, and then I would like to invite everybody to share. Everybody here, I would love to hear from you. What are your favorite resources and how you've used them and stuff like that. So let's start with what are resources? And I apologize. I know in past workshops, some people have mentioned or requested that I speak in Arabic, or the presenters speak Arabic, but since not everyone here is a native Arabic speaker, and I think most of the workshops that we've done through this council have been conducted in English. So I'm gonna continue to talk in English. I'm gonna, squeeze in Arabic here and there, obviously, but it is a little bit faster and easier. Can't believe I'm saying this, but yes, it's a little bit easier because of the English being practiced a lot more. So let's start with this. What are resources to begin with? In Arabic, resource is mawrid, and the plural is mawarid, and this is the definition from the معاني معجم المعاني. ورد يرد إلى الشيء يصل إليه, to approach something, to benefit from, and it's usually in reference to water, right? So let's go to Mentimeter. If you have a device, you can scan this and it will give you the survey. I would like to see what people think of when they hear or think of the word resource, mawarid. And I'm gonna stop sharing here and go to the website to start this, okay? So Okay, so it's, as you participate in this, you can, put this in the chat as well. It will give us a word cloud of the words that you can think of, when you hear, or or speak, or think about the word resource. What is it? What comes to mind? As an educator, for the most part, here, the link is in the chat. You can also scan this from any device, or go to menti.com and enter this code. Oh, there we go. So, some place to get things, something you refer to, index, helpful tools. Survey, start on skills, very good. Try to find new tools. You can also think of the word مورد or موارد in Arabic. مصدر is another word for resource. مصدر or مصادر, the plural. مورد, موارد. Okay, very good. So examples, helpful tools. Thematic units, yes. Okay, very good. Teaching materials, marja, yes, maraja, and maraja are also other words for resources, or, okay, very good. We can continue doing this.
Layali, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. There's in the chat, someone was saying they're having a little trouble hearing you. So I don't know if you could speak up a little bit, or hopefully it's that and not the computer. But anyway.
I'm sorry, let me see if it's my earpiece. Is this better?
I'm hearing you okay. Amina is
Okay.
let us know if that gets better, hopefully. Okay, thanks, Layali.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so teaching materials, places to get things, very good. All right, so if you have other, please keep adding. It will give us a nice word cloud at the end that we can refer to. I'm gonna go back to my presentation here. Okay. So resources, I mean, technically speaking, are all around us, and probably we're coming across resources all the time, but I would also love to know, like, how you sort through and find the right resources for you, for your unit or lesson. So one of the as I said, like, one of the things that I tried to do is organize and sort through resources in different ways to make them easier to find in the right time and place. And so on a skill-based level, or a skill-based way of organizing, this is what I came up with. This is not exhaustive. These are not all the resources out there, obviously. These are probably the most recommended or most useful according to the teachers that I've consulted and asked. So the presentation, this SlidesGo presentation, I grabbed off of SlidesGo. I don't know if anyone has tried these before, but it goes left to right. So for reading, like I have used Asafir for many years. I don't know who else has. Anyone? Like, you want to raise your hand in the reactions function if you'd like to say something at any point. Actually, if you'd like to chime in or give a thumbs up, like for the resource that you've tried and you like. For reading, Asafir does a really good job in breaking down the levels of the books they have. And I think they use the Arabic 21 leveling as well as other methods. I can show the back end of Asafir, how we use them, but I want to mention the others as well. First, I read Arabic. It is gonna show us that, right? Alif Ba Ta, Kutubi. Wahat al-Hikayat is mostly like collections of books that are printed, but they have some with audio and video on the website as well. For writing, or before we go into the details of all of these, but I wanted to say, like, I tried to go for a variety of options for each of the skills, and this presentation will be shared with everyone, I believe, after it's done. So, and it will be on the website for the PC ATC Council. That almost a lot hard to do. Okay, thank you. مفردات أو مصطلحات here for this one. Is a question about this one? Yeah, so in English, basically vocabulary building, like that's in any language learning, like you wanna target the vocabulary. So one of the studies that I've come across lately is that a person learning a language needs about 2,000 words in that language to be able to communicate at ease with native speakers of that language. And we're lucky that in Arabic, we have a big, basically, like, it is the biggest language in terms of number of words, right? And number of roots. And so we don't have any problem with the number of words that we can learn in Arabic. What we have is, as I will present later, is the challenge of moving from skill to skill or from one level to the next. Like, we have a lot of resources emphasizing learning the shapes and sounds of alphabet, and that seems to be the biggest source, like resources, like mostly target these skills. But then as you move higher on, like, the actual scale, for example, or any of the other ratings, like the resources just dwindle down, right? Like with each level. So it's harder and harder to find resources for higher levels. And so to get to the 2,000 word mark though in Arabic, and we don't really measure. I don't know if you guys measure in your programs, Raida and Hamza, if you wanna tell us a little bit about how you work on vocabulary, as well as, you know, the resources that you wanna show us, that would be great. I personally, when I teach, especially with the older, I mean, the younger kids, there's always culture in everything I teach, but the younger ones, the culture tends to be embedded in other things, not like directly like, okay, our lesson is about this aspect of the culture. With the older ones, they actually do need that. Like, you do not know a language until you know its culture. And there's not just one culture in Arabic. Like, I don't want to, you know, you already know this. It's, you know, cultures. But there are some things that are just must know. That give the language learning a depth um, and context, right? Yeah. So vocabulary, words versus concepts. And let me see, I'm gonna stop sharing and reshare from the Asafir website. It just won't let me switch between different things. Okay, so Asafir, we as Kalima programs have a school account with Asafir. You can still use Asafir for free without an account. I don't know how many of the resources are available for free versus, you know, when you have a school account. But so I'm an admin for our school account, and the options I have here are probably a lot more than what you would see if you sign up as a parent or an educator for free without a school account. I, you know, switch back and forth between the English and the Arabic. Sometimes it's just easier to find things in English, but it shows me like my classes. I can like sort kids in different classes. I can find them assignments, assign worksheets. There are resources here for educators, and they there are so many different things, but like we've found very good stuff actually. And then reports for like student progress and stuff like that for teachers' usage of the platform and all of that. But the main feature that I use here is assigning stories, and it, you know, you can look for things like based on level. You can look for things, how many years of learning they've done. There's categories, like for people in IB schools, for example, there's IB principles. So stories based on IB principles. And then you can search for like certain words, like for sight words. I'm going to be speaking about, you know, sight words in a little bit. I have looked for books with certain sight words and assign them to students. But there are a lot of things here, and the nice thing is also you can see like for each student, you know, like you can give them stars for participation, stars for reading and stuff like that. And you can see, you can get a report and share it with their parents, you know. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it shows you like also like if they are progressing like above level, on level, or below level. So it does some assessments for each story they read. They can answer questions afterwards, and it gives you kind of an idea of how much they've comprehended from that story. So let me get, we can see the, I read Arabic, right now. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Hey, yes. Maybe I can talk about I read Arabic and Alif Bata, but I will try also to share my screen. I haven't done this for a while. I haven't been on Zoom for a while, so I'll just use my old knowledge. Okay, screen. Tell me what you see on my screen. Oh my God. Excuse me, I need to get this.
Should we let Kenza show us?
Yeah, sure. I can go ahead if that's okay.
Okay. Oh, is it gonna allow you to share?
No, I think she's
Oh.
back.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I had to take this phone call. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, am I sharing my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is the I Read Arabic app. Just see if I can move this a little bit over here. Okay, so over here you will see tabs for the al-wajibat, assignments for the students. You have reports. You have also contents, what is there inside, what this app provides. And this part you can add it for, you can pick stuff and add it in your own folder. So let's say if you're doing something about Harfisine, so you can collect the resources and put it for use in the classroom. And this is for نتيجة التعليم, the results what you have. It's like a rubric that you can go through and finding the level of each student. So let's say that students who are on level Aleph, how much they should know in language level, in reading understanding, in voice and phonemic awareness. And then we also, they have some kind of report cards, just like for the students to feel more encouraged and support them on a daily basis or a weekly basis. How we use it in our classroom? For me in particular, I use a lot of books based on level. I assign the students the books because we have like thematic units, and at the same time we focus on one letter each week. So I assign the book about this letter. So each letter has a book, and it has also a song that is related to it, which makes a great resources for teachers who are teaching beginner levels. At the same time, I use it as a reader. In the morning, I would like to share one song and one reader. The reader that I pick, usually I pick it from a higher level. So for first grade, I usually start from Dal, which is Abjad Hawa's um, order. I picked Dal. It's a little bit more advanced than what they read by themselves. And for the songs, I always have a wealth of videos and songs that varies in topics. It's stuff about Ramadan, stuff about, I can share the things that they have in I Read Arabic, like communication, geography, science. They have culture, news, everything about me. And they have a lot of stuff that is related to IB also. They categorize it in themes, in 6 different themes that copes with the IB. We have a lot of songs about letters, about colors, and some traditional. I like to share a lot of Hazijut al-Atfal, which is like traditional songs. It's a little bit affiliated with the Jordanian and accent, but it is understandable for all the students. You have also the option to look for whatever you want. Over here, you can have plans for the school year. You have end of level assessments. The students can also have access to games once they finish certain levels. And also at the beginning of the school year, before we had Avant assessment tool, we used I read Arabic levels to find the students' level. So we had like we administrated the test like 3 times a year. We're not using it anymore now, but it's a good tool for schools and beginner programs. They have something that I found yesterday, which is the PIRLS. I didn't know much about it, but I have to look for it. How we use it like on a weekly basis with the students, as I said, a song and a book, in addition to the readers that they have in the classroom. And at the end of the week, I usually check the report for students. We have, because we're a big school, we have different teachers, we have different grade levels, and it gives you the time range where you want to check the progress of the students, how much they did. You can assign different things. You can assign, for example, reading. You can assign only listening to a book. You can ask them. And this is in first grade. We start doing in the second semester. We don't do it at the beginning of first semester based on the population that we have in our school. So they start recording the books while they are reading. It's an easy process. They just need to listen and repeat while they are doing this. They are recording. And the books at a certain level, they start having some kind of test at the end of the book after they listen or read the book. And some books also have like worksheets that students can use. This is just like a quick introduction for I Read Arabic. I think this tool has been with our school for a long time now, almost like 6 years we've been using, and we have subscription with I Read Arabic. For the school, it's not free. We pay around like $15 per student, but I think we have a special rating as a school. As for Alif Ba Ta, I think this is also another great tool, and we've been using it for a while. It focuses more on the language component of Arabic, because it has like the high frequency words, and it comes in very nice interactive stories. So if we tried, let's say, Min, it has a story and it has some activities that is related to it. And then you can move on to the second set of words. They have also these exercises, and the nice thing about also Aleph Beta is that you can either do it on iPads or on the computers, or you can print. So let's say that you want to have a worksheet, you can either use it like as an exercise on their iPads, or tablets, or you can print it out as an exercise that you do in the classroom. And this can be very helpful. Another thing that I love about Aleph Beta is that
Are you showing the Alif Bata page? I'm
it's not
sorry.
showing. Okay, I can
You're-
share it now. Probably it's not showing now.
It's still on the أقرأ بالعربية.
Oh, really? Let me stop the sharing and I can share it again. Maybe this is a good way to do it. Let me share. Stop sharing. Let me share it again. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
So this is Alif Beta. It has also a section about the students, and adding classes to Alif Beta is super easy. You just write the names and they will create a barcode. You will have the name of the students, and there is also a barcode that makes things way easier for students to log into the app. And also, I think this is something they added recently, and it helps the teachers a lot. You can also add homework for the students, and you can take the students' progress on the homework. We use this a lot during the COVID time, but we do not assign a lot of homework because as a school, using apps that are obligated from the districts, we felt that it's overwhelming for parents and students, so we left it as optional for students to use it. There is also reports about what the students do and how much time they spend on the app, their progress. If we go back to the sections, as I said, they have al-alab, they have al-kalimat for high frequency words, they have it marine. We were at marine, and what I like about it marine, and this is especially for schools that are building their programs and they're adding grade levels, and they're always wondering which skill should come before the other. I feel that this app helps a lot because it starts from simple and moving up. So you start with al-huruf and you can go this as the early novice level, moving to al-ashkal al-huruf. Then as they become mid-novice, you can start introducing words and writing al-huruf, writing 3 letters. So it goes all the way up in a language component of Arabic to conversation, to parts of speech, to a more advanced grammatical Arabic. But if you're not into a lot of grammar, you can go to stories. And we use a lot of these also stories because it's also in levels based on the students' levels. It goes from level 1 up to 5. It's not very advanced. I think it goes maybe by first grade, we can say second grade up to fifth grade. If we look at the more advanced one, like المستوى الخامس, if we have a look at a language component over there, it doesn't very much advanced, but it has a lot of grammatical and language skills. It's very interactive. This is part.
Sorry, is everyone having trouble hearing her like me?
يا رائدة شوي عم بقطع
I'm so sorry. The internet over here is not very well on my classroom. But I will try to raise my voice. Is it better now as I raise my voice? Is it getting better?
It's
Still disconnecting.
So tough. It's a little better than it was a minute ago, but still hard to hear. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. So sorry to hear that. Let me see if it makes any difference. I think the sounds of all the speakers. Okay, so if you just like give me a hint of where you lost me so I can just catch up quickly of what you're missing.
it's better since you stopped sharing the screen, so I wonder if there's a correlation. Okay, yeah. Were you trying to have us hear it, the sound of the story?
If you can't hear it, I need to check the setting for the I mean, like, it's not a big issue if you hear what they're saying or not. As long as you can hear me. Can you hear me well?
Now it's back to kind of muffled robotic voice a little bit.
Okay. So I think if I can give it back to you so you can like take over from here since the sound is not that great. Apologies for that.
It's okay. Okay, thank you. Let me get back to the presentation a little bit and see what else? There was Kutubi that we wanted to show, but do you, Raida, do you use that as much as I read Arabic and Alif Bata?
Actually, because I told you we have a school-wide accounts for Alif Bata and I read Arabic, it became very expensive to also add Kutubi. But we have a teacher's account that's unfortunately I could not have an access to at the moment, but we use it a lot for science as we teach science in Arabic, and we felt that Kutubi is a great resource for science books.
Okay, good to know. That's good. So that's fantastic. شكرا كتير رائدة على اللي فرجتينا إياهم. So I read Arabic is a staple in your school, and Alif Bata for you personally or for the whole school?
Yeah, well, the whole school, and personally, I use it in the classroom. And Alif Bata, I usually, if I have the time, we can use it in the classroom, but mostly it is used as a homework tool.
Okay. Very good to know. Shukran, Raida. So
if you don't mind, Layali, I have a question before you move from that precious paper that you created. I have to thank you a lot for it because it makes things really clear. There's the resource Hindenburg Learner. If you can just give us a quick idea about what is that resource?
Yeah, so this is actually for educators like to help with ideas for this is, I can show part of this. I actually have it loaded somewhere. Hold on. Let me show you. So there's let me share the screen again here. This is, I grabbed from the QFI resource website, and I had seen it before in some of the StarTalk teacher education programs. So these are not new videos. They were taken many years ago before COVID. There's many different languages, but there's the Arabic ones. This one is the overview of, generally speaking, how to focus on certain skills and cultures and stuff like that. So I can play part of this video. It's a little bit long.
Bringing Arabic to life in a classroom.
You know, the 5 C's coming to life in the Arabic classrooms.
The teacher is really helping guide them through these learning opportunities to use the language.
Standards started with an entire national conversation in the 90s around what students should know and be able to do in every single subject area. And that was defined in the 5 C's of the standards. So communication, what is it that we actually want students to be able to do? What you are going to use language for are the other 4 C's. Am I using it to explore a culture? Am I using it to understand something that I don't have access to except through another language, even if it's about science or about social studies or about some other subject area? Am I getting insights into my own language and my own culture through this language experience? And am I realizing that it just doesn't happen within the context of a classroom, that there are real people out there who use this language? How do I connect and interact with people around the world and the knowledge being generated around the world?
Another best practice is using the target language.
Our efforts as teachers of
So they interview and showcase different teachers in different contexts. I believe that some of them are like the New York
more of like a real
immersion
setting, you
school.
know, that you would talk to someone in.
We are teaching Arabic with flavors. Arabic has many flavors, and our job in the classroom is to reflect this diversity.
Let's expose our students, particularly the novice and the intermediate students, to a dialect. It doesn't have to be, it's not important what dialect. It could be the dialect of the teacher, or it could be the Egyptian dialect.
من يسأل سؤال باللهجة المصرية؟
ازاي
ازاي؟ ممتاز.
ازاي هنجاوب في مصر في فصل الصيف.
It is
Okay, so so there are many videos, like some of them are about specific plans, like lesson plans in action, and I highly recommend this whole series. I watched, you know, some of the other languages, and some stuff are very, very inspiring. Like you know, as you plan for next year, you might want to visit these and get some ideas, you know.
That's an
does that-
amazing resource. Thank you. This is so nice. Especially we can see some familiar faces.
I know, yeah.
Wael and Dr. Al-Batar. This is amazing. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can we get actually, let me share my presentation again, just so that I give you an idea about what Kenza will be talking about, right?
And another important thing, Sister Liali, about Alif Bata is that their website can be accessed in English as well, not just
okay.
Arabic. Yeah,
Oh,
so that's
good.
a win for me.
Yes, I know some parents also like complain that, you know, if they are not able to like understand the Arabic in a particular website assigned, like how could they help their kids, you know? So it's important that there's an English in the interface for parents and educators. So here we can come back to this, but like there's, you know, the issue that I alluded to earlier about the gap between the ability to read and the ability to understand, which is mostly, or not mostly, but partially due to a lot of resources being dedicated to like the reading part and not, you know, the other stuff that come afterwards. And there are some possible solutions here. One way we've been trying to bridge this gap at Kalima programs is to focus on sight words, الكلمات البصرية أو الكلمات الأكثر تكرارا في اللغة. So we have been compiling, it's not final yet, our list of 1001 words, ألف كلمة وكلمة, that are most common in Arabic that people should know, towards the 2000, I guess, mark, to be able to communicate easily with native speakers. But all of these tools, right? One of these tools is WordWall that Kenza is going to show us some cool stuff about or how to use. But in our program for Alf Kalima wa Kalima, our sight words program, we use all these tools and games and resources to help support the learning of sight words, which is what we believe is the bridge between reading and understanding and you know, basically more fluency across the board. But let's see, I'll come back to this one. But I also wanted to ask you what you recommend for resources, and if Sister Kenza, you want to share your screen with the
Yeah.
wall?
Absolutely.
Shukran.
All right. Can you all see it?
Mhm.
All right, perfect. So WordWall is basically just like how the other websites we just saw, those have like integrated already present like books and resources and games, which you just have to assign. But a very good thing about WordWall is that you get to create your games however you want them, whatever, even if a particular child in your class is struggling with something, you can create a game specifically for that child. So that's something that I absolutely enjoyed you doing over the past 2 years, I would say. So we basically, as a school, bought their plan because of COVID when we went online. And it was really difficult to engage the kids in class because there were lots of hands-on activities that we were doing in school. And now that we were online, it was difficult to keep them, attentive and focused in class. That's when we got our subscription for WordWall, and it has been amazing. So first of all, you can create a free account, and it will give you 5 games that you can create for free, but eventually you'd need to buy a subscription if you want to, create more, but it's super affordable. I think it's just $6 per month for one single teacher, or if somebody is doing, or if you're not associated with a school and you just want to buy a plan for yourself, it's just $6 a month. And if you want to buy a plan for a school plan, isn't that expensive as well. I think it's $250 for 5 teachers for the whole year. So that's that. And then if I dive into this over here, so I'm already signed in. This is the main page that you see. Now, if I have to create an activity, I can go over here and create an activity, and I'll show you that later on. But first, let me show you what kind of games are there. So first of all, like one of my students was having trouble just recognizing seen, sheen, slod, and bod. So I created a game specifically for that. Let me see if my sound is shared. So this is how it begins. So you're going to see the alphabet, and then he was to find which word it's gonna be, okay? So that's one kind of game where you have to match something, right? The other kind of game that we created was matching pairs. So they just don't have to remember the alphabet, but also remember where exactly it was. So like if it's seen, this is slod. So they need to remember that seen was there and slod was here, and then, open another pair and see if it matches. So matching pairs is another thing. This one they absolutely enjoy. It's like a maze, and then they have to find a specific alphabet, like for sheen. Now, when they start, they have to.
I had to stop myself from playing this game. It reminded me of Pac-Man.
Yeah. So that's how it is. I mean, I personally, I don't win. But this is how this one is. And then another one is sorting. So this is another way. Like they have to sort, like sheen, under sheen, slod, seen, bod. Then we've also used this, since I teach Quranic Arabic, so we also use this for, different Quranic, like for tajweed rules and stuff like that. So like you have to hit the al-wasl over here, hamzat al-wasl. This is super fun. They love this one. And then another one here is like they have to sort lam shamsiya, lam qamariya. And then this is basically grammar related. This isn't related to my school, but I was teaching a basic Arabic grammar, Nahu, to a couple of students last year, and I created this game for them. And then this website, you can use it for reading as well. Like if you have a paragraph in Arabic that you already have a picture of, you can just create a game related to that paragraph. Just put that picture in. I'll show you how you can do that. And highlight a couple of words, and then you can say, what does this word mean and what does that word mean? And then talking about results. Now, when I have my activities, I go over here. I already have, for instance, if I take the light harf over here, do you see the 3 dots over here? If I select this and I hit share, oh, sorry, this is the public and private thing. And if I hit, you can edit the content over here. Like for example, if there's a mistake here, or if I want to make the same game for, say, heavy harf. So I'll just take the entire thing and change it and make a copy of it. Now, do you see the share option over here? When you hit share, it's gonna publish it and give you a link which you can share with your students, okay? And now that they have the link, if you go to my results, you'd be able to see the results. Now, these are all the games that I did for my students. And if you see the Salah game over here that I created, I actually also use it for Islamic studies. So now I can see that all of these students, they attempted the game. When did they attempt? How many correct answers they got? How many incorrect answers they got? And how much time they took to play the game. And then the graph and everything. So I can grade them or however I want to use this. So now let me sign in to another account and I'll show you how you can create a game. Can you see the new screen or no? Do you know? Okay, let me show you again. All right, so this is another free account that I created just to let you guys know how you create games. So you see create activity over here. When you go to this page, it's going to give you all of these games. Do you want to create a matchup game, a quiz? Do you want a sorting game? There are a lot of options to choose from. So for instance, if I want to do a matchup game, I'll click that. And then let's say I say alphabet matchup, like maybe. Now the keyword, I don't have Arabic keyboard on this laptop, so I'm just gonna write in English. So for instance, alif, and you wanna say akhira. Hamza basically. Or if you say ba and you say batta. See the, and you write something over here, okay? Then you create this game. It's going to show you how it will work, how it's going to appear on your kiddo's screen. And then when you hit share or set assignment, both ways you can do it. You can hit share. And by sharing, for instance, if I have, you can say Arabic over here, you can select religion over here. And when you publish it, this actually, you can also make it public instead of private. It's not letting me do it right now, but whatever game you create, you can make it public so that others can also access it and they can, benefit from it. And when I publish this game, this is the link that I get. I can copy it and I can send it to the students, post it in Google Classroom or wherever, you send homework to your students. And then for accessing the results, it's going to be over here. When you go into my results, it's going to come over because I did not make an assignment. It's not coming over here. It's going to be in my activities. But if I say set assignment and publish it, then I can go to my results and I'll see it over here. Now, whenever the kids, they attempt it, it's going to show over here that who attempted, at what time they attempted, how many correct and how many incorrect answers they got. Another important
question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's just about the community thing that is left. I'll tell that later.
I wanted to ask, so there are different options, but when you set the game from the beginning as a matching game, it can or it cannot be changed to other
It can be.
formats? It
can be,
So
but
the
not
same
all the
set-
formats. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not
Um,
all the format, but it does give you an option. Let me show.
Can the students also change the format or just the teacher?
If it's a public game, if you haven't set it as private, then I think they might be able to, because that's the community thing that I was going to tell you guys about. When you have a subscription to it, it's not just your games that you can create. You can also access thousands of games that are already, somebody has already prepared them. And then, for instance, if somebody has a matchup game, but you want it to be select the correct answer, you can change that for your students and, set a new assignment and send it to them. Also, there are printable versions as well. Like, for instance, if you have a game and you don't have access to internet in class and you want it to be a printable thing, you can do that as well. Let me show you that. So for instance, this game over here, Hmm. So you see switch template over here. So this game can be changed as a matchup game, as find the match, as quiz, as game shows. And if I do show all, for this particular one, it's not letting me do the printed version, but for some games, it gives you a printed version as well. Let me see. I think in Islamic studies, I did that. And for Islamic studies, especially, the kids, they just love it. They just love playing it in class as well as when I don't send them written homework. I send them homework through this and they just absolutely enjoy it. I think it was probably this one that had a printed version. Yeah, for some reason right now, maybe because my subscription has ended, that's why it's not showing it to me.
Is it like a yearly subscription?
It was a yearly subscription, yeah, that our school took. But since we already, I had all the games made in that 1 year, we didn't need it. So the subscription has ended, but I can still use all of these games because I have the links. Yeah. So that's about it. If you guys have any questions, then
That's amazing. If you want to share your email, Kenza, in the chat, if anyone has questions or would like, to consult you on
Absolutely.
making word wall games, that would be great. I can also
Absolutely.
include your email, both you and Raida, in the presentation before we put it on the website.
Absolutely.
Good. Shukran. So I'm gonna share my screen for the presentation again, and I wanna do the second part of the Mentimeter survey with you guys to ask you about your favorite resources, what has worked for you, and what would you recommend adding to what has already been shared. So let me share the screen. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to the Mentimeter one. So here's the second part of it, and I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you to join through the chat, or if you want to use another device to scan this barcode, or go to menti.com and enter this code. My favorite resources are, so please, whatever you feel like has worked really well for you, something that's highly recommended by you or others you worked with, or somebody has mentioned something to you, resources that we can add for everyone to benefit from. Let's list them all here, and it will be added to the presentation that will be shared on the website of the DC-ATC Council. So a lot of people who are not able to make it, will probably go back and, check the website and check the recording and check the slideshow for this presentation, and this might help everybody. I also, once we're done with this, wanted to, if you're interested, I don't know how many people haven't tried things like fun activities such as Lookits and Kahoots, which are very highly engaging to students. Kahoot has been doing a lot of new stuff, and what I really like about their new additions, even though I haven't subscribed yet to for the paid stuff, but my students have really enjoyed the collaborative games that they've added, and we could try for the optional activity from now until 1:30. We can try one of those games that my students really highly enjoyed. If you're interested, and get a show of hands. I see that there are some answers here. Let me check. I thought that they would actually show here for everybody. I see that it says 5 answers, but not. Welcome, Marda. Welcome, everyone who has joined after we started. So if you still haven't, if you can share at least one resource with us that has worked for you, either by scanning this or going to menti.com, or I'm gonna put it in the chat one more time, okay? The link to this, and hopefully, as I said, if it's resources that are not already on my presentation, we will add them. I'll add them before we put the slideshow up on the website for everybody to benefit from. How many people have tried Kahoot games? Can I get a show of hands? You have tried Rima, Nabila. Okay, very good. Who else? Are you, have you tried their newest stuff, the collaborative games? Not, nobody? Okay, are you interested in trying it? We have 7 answers so far. That's good. Keep them coming. I would really appreciate as many resources to add as possible. And I really wish it would show the answers here. That's gonna do it. Okay, maybe I would like to try the collaborative Kahoot. All right, let's see. So I'm getting the code. You might want to try, if you have a different device, to join from a different device. But here I'm gonna share the screen. So the classic mode, if you all remember, or if you've used it before, it's like, you know, just the 4 options and you click the right one. Team mode is you kind of divide the students into teams, and you can use it as an assessment. These are the new collaborative games where everybody actually works together towards a goal. This is the one that's the most popular. I haven't tried this one yet. It seems a little bit violent to me, so I'm not sure I want to try it. But this one, everybody works together to help the submarine escape the fish. So I'm gonna suggest trying this one. We can try it for 5 minutes or so, or, you know, 3 minutes maybe. So it's gonna give me a code. I'll put it in the chat. You can also go to Kahoot.it and enter this number to join. Yes, Nabila. We'd love to do follow-ups. We have done that with the project-based learning workshops, like where we had a like sequel to the first one. So we will consider. I hope Mimi can help also. We'll consider doing a follow-up on this as well.
Yeah, sure. I love that idea. That'd be great if people go and, try the resources and then come back and we can go through them or have, test things out again, or, if you have questions, that's a great idea. Yeah.
So you can scan the barcode. I can expand it. You can enter this number if you are going to the website, or use the link in the chat if you're using the same device. I just don't know how it works exactly, if you need a split screen to be able to, see the progress with us or not. Yes, we'd love to have as many resources shared as possible. I see 2 people have joined so far. If we can have at least one more before we start, and then we will do, after this, we will do questions and answers as well. I know some of you are in class and not able to participate, so we may be able to move forward to do the game with just 2 people. Anyone is trying to get in that we should wait for? You scanning, Raida? You gonna get in? Yay. Okay. All right, so we have 3 people. I'm gonna go ahead and start. So you're all together in a submarine. Answer questions to collect boosts and dive deeper. Listen to the instructions and choose the right symbol. There's a part where you're gonna have to communicate, actually, and it's been a challenge to get my students to communicate in Arabic in that part because it's timed, so they kind of tend to switch to English. But I try to translate for them what they say in English so that they hear it at least in Arabic. Okay, so now people who are participating, you're getting questions, and the more you answer, the more boosts you get to save the submarine from the fish. أنت أحسنتي، حصلتي على بوست، لكن السمكة تقترب. والآن أوكي، ريما راح تعطي تعليمات. إيش لازم يختاروا يا ريما؟ So كنزة ورائدة, you have things to choose from on your screen. Rima is gonna have to tell us what to choose. Rima, you're muted if you can.
What should we give them?
What is it telling you to tell them?
There's nothing on my screen. It's just shout out the symbol below.
So the symbol, describe the symbol.
The pose for the animal, for the dog.
Okay, Kenza, Raida.
I selected it.
Okay. Is it just one symbol?
I think it's gonna ask another question now.
Oh, ouch. I think Raida is teaching. Oh, you guys got eaten. السمكة أكلتكم. Oh, معلش. So this is just sampling. It actually is very intense. Oh, you get another round, but not for very long. I wish I joined in to help. But that's like one thing about this game. Everybody has to be engaged because you never know who's gonna be the one getting the instructions and giving the instructions. السمكة تقترب. هيا أجيبوا على الأسئلة. ستأكلنا السمكة النجدة. أكلتنا السمكة. Okay, so this is where it gives you like, you know, rankings and stuff like that, but usually the most important part is working together as a team. I think Raida was really distracted, unfortunately. But yeah, you see, like I have many sets in Kahoot. I don't know if you can still see. I have many sets in Kahoot that I can choose from, and like I alternate for them. I can also assign it as a homework. Assign as a homework. Same with Blookit. I don't know if you've tried Blookit. So far, Blookit hasn't been as pushy about the payment. So I'm just gonna stop this. Yeah, did you guys enjoy Kenza?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
And I think it's a perfect time to know all the resources, because I was just talking to Sister Ruwaida, I think 3 weeks ago, and I was saying I am going to replan everything over summer. Make sure you put me in the same class.
Oh, okay. You wanna
Inshallah.
plan for next year and start, you know,
inshallah.
making things, yeah, from now.
More fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes like you can actually transfer things across platforms. So like I've used sets from Quizlet into Kahoot, migrated into Kahoot and Blookit. So you don't have to recreate the wheel every time, you know, like sometimes you can use sets that you already have and just transport them in different platforms. You might have to do some edits here and there, but let me share the screen again one more time, back to the presentation.
Sister Leali, one more thing about WordWall is that when you have a school subscription, then you can see other teachers, what they are creating. And if there's something that you can use from their class, you can do that too.
Oh, like other teachers from the
Yeah.
same account or any
From the
teachers
same
on
school.
WordWall? Oh, from the same.
From the same school, yeah.
Good, yeah. And I wanted to say, like, there are I think Raida is a little busy, but one of the things that has come up repeatedly from Raida and others that they've used is YouTube channels. And for Kalima programs, we have a YouTube channel with so many playlists organized by theme, right? So let me see. I know Raida has used it in our school. Let's see, so playlists based on theme. There's for sight words, for grammar, numbers, countries. Well, some are like specific to our programs where, you know, these are like certain things that I want my students and their parents to know, but there are things that are universal that anybody can use. Disney in Arabic, authentic Arabic materials. There are read aloud stories, videotaped by kids. Many of them are my own kids. STEM in Arabic, sea and ocean theme, alphabet, story time, greetings. I use these lists even with college students. So I teach at Hood College, and I've used things like the grammar ones, for example, the greetings. This one is listed in the table from letters to words about how to form words, like in the writing references or resources. That also the speaking skills, there's culture, Arabic instruments, dabka, so many things like in playlists here. Excuse me. Also, how can we get them like these, the playlists? I'll put the link in the chat right now. But they're also, it's going to be one of those links in the presentation on the website that Mimi is going to share with everyone once it's on the website. Good. And then another thing is like Padlet pages that are also available for everybody to use and benefit from. But like Padlet pages that have been made for different programs and for sight words. Bingo game is really helpful in sight words because they just focus on the shape of the word and then they hear it as I call the words that come up, for example. Jamboard is more interactive, more in-depth. They're not just memorizing the words, they're actually using it in context to understand. There is YouTube for sight words that is still like new. There's only 3 videos so far, but that's one of the resources I wanted to highlight. If you wanted to explore the sight words thing and how it helps you in your program, that would be great. Let me stop sharing here. And just wanted to show this. They're very short videos. I'm totally lost. So basically very, very simple,
Salam.
focusing on the shape of the word
مرحبا.
and its sound. So that
أهلا.
when they come across these words,
شكرا.
they're not actively like
عفوا.
trying to break them down, like to letters
Yeah.
that decode and recode. They actually, like just
Mama.
like in English, they just memorize the shape of the
Baba.
word. It automatically fires up in the brain what is the meaning of that word, and it makes them faster in reading and
كبير.
understand what they're reading
صغير.
better and faster.
كثير.
Okay, so this is just sampling here. Do you guys have any questions, any comments, any feedback for me? Mimi,
No,
are we-
alhamdulillah, it was useful.
Are they gonna get a survey now or in the email? Or
In the email, we will send a survey and, all the resources. I'll make sure to collaborate with Layali and Kenza and Raida. Will go on the site, and then I'll send everybody who signed up for the workshop the recording, those resources, and the survey. So we'll try to get that going. I'll get my assistant to get going on that ASAP, so you can all have that. And I just want to say, this was so much fun. I really enjoyed the games, and seeing all the different resources. And yeah, I want to go play those games now. So it was hard. I liked Leali when you said it's hard for me not to play them. I said, oh yeah, me too. I just want to, start that as well. And, as always, brush up on my Arabic. So shukran jazilan, ya'tik al-afi. Thank you all so much. I don't want to end it too soon though, in case there's any other comments or questions.
anyone has anything to say before we leave? Kenza, you were saying something? Sorry.
I was just saying that this was very productive.
Good.
Alhamdulillah,
Yeah,
thank you for that.
shukran. Thank you to you and Raida as well for showing us all, the cool stuff that you're doing. Yeah, shukran Rima, shukran Raida. Didn't get to know others here, Raidan and Khawla. But I know that people are multitasking, so I didn't want to put anyone on the spot. But yeah, شكرا جزيلا للكل. Please do follow up if you have any questions. I'll put my email here in the chat. But it's also, as I said, going to be on the presentation that will be shared, right, in the email and the website. شكرا جزيلا لميمي وللجميع.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. مع السلامة.
شكرا رائدة.
Bye, thank you.
شكرا ميمي. شكرا كنزة.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام.
Salam. Bye.